This is the Ryder and Lisa replay.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai. Check out the Southtown Hyundai Advantage at southtownhyundai.ca. 7.
Thank you for checking out the show. It's interesting. Hailey Bieber has now said that she's taking a break from social media. And I was like, oh, wow, with that big of platform, it's a fairly bold move. But then it turns out she's being fairly specific with when she takes a break. So she's only checking Instagram on weekends now.
Okay.
Which, you know what? I don't mind that idea. You get caught up. You're not just sitting there scrolling, like decaying, watching other people do stuff.
Don't call it decaying.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're looking at screens and we're just decaying.
We're learning.
Our own lives are decaying while looking at other people. She touches on it here.
One of the things that I found really helped me is I started doing something where I don't go on Instagram Monday through Friday. I don't even have a Twitter anymore because there was never really a time I would go on there that it didn't feel like it was a very toxic environment. The thought of even opening the app gives me such bad anxiety that I feel like I'm going to throw up. I got rid of that because I was just like, it just needs to go. It needs to just not be part of my life.
That's because there are so many hardcore Selena Gomez fans that won't drop it. Like her and Justin have been married for years now. Get over it. They just keep saying Selena and Justin need to be together, and they'll tag Hailey Bieber in these tweets, or they'll resurface old tweets from when Selena and Justin were together because Hailey loved them as a couple. She'd always tweet about them when they would be on the red carpet and stuff, which is kind of cringy. So no wonder she's anxious and doesn't want anything to do with it.
I don't have 1/1,000,000th of her celebrity status on there, but I still find social media exhausting.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, then you discover new social media platforms like that new Clubhouse one, which, by the way, is awesome. But man, I'm like, another one? I don't want another one.
Yeah, I'm all out of passwords. I don't have any more space in my head for any more passwords.
It's true. But yeah, I even have some personal acquaintances that were talking about taking a break from their social media maybe throughout the summer.
The thing is that sucks right now, though, it's the only way that I'm feeling like I'm attached to a lot of my friends because you don't get to see each other.
Interesting. Yeah, that's
so
true.
like it's been nice to be able to catch up and like see my buddy's daughter who I haven't met, who turned 1 yesterday, and like I would have hung out with her probably 6 times by now had the pandemic not been here. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess there's the advantages.
Play 107.
Okay, so just busy doing things around here. Lisa starts throwing Titanic facts at me out of nowhere.
I thought it was interesting.
You know what? I actually was listening kind of, and there was some interesting stuff, but I was just too busy to like zone in, and eventually I had to be like, can we talk about the Titanic later? You've convinced me that enough people want to hear about the Titanic that we should talk about it live on the air. So
I just want to spitfire a couple really interesting facts. Okay, so getting a one-way ticket onto the Titanic, keep in mind back then people were making $800 a year.
Okay.
A ticket was like over $10,000.
Whoa.
So just think about how luxurious the Titanic was to people.
The wealth. I can't imagine the amount of like jewelry that went down with it.
Exactly.
And, like the money people had just in their wallets.
Now I have, I think it's called megalophobia, where I'm scared of large objects. I don't like seeing the plane before I get on it.
That's why I'm not allowed to flex around you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't think I'd be able to stomach seeing the Titanic in person. So just think about it. Back then, walking up to the shore and seeing something that big.
Well, now they're like, I mean, with the Carnival cruises and stuff, we've seen it before. But back then, there was nothing like it.
Nothing like it. It was 45,000 tons. 882 feet long. It had 2 engines, and both of the engines alone were 330 feet tall. The 2 engines that ran this boat produced 30,000 horsepower, which is the same energy as 10 diesel locomotives, 10 diesel trains.
Yeah.
And the people that were employed on the Titanic, they had never done what they were put on this boat to do. There were 200 men shoveling coal the entire time it was on the water, nonstop. They could not stop. So think of that shift work. and how little amount of money they were getting paid to do it. And these men were just approaching the boat before they took off and just said, I'd like a job. Just give me something. So they were, and the people that were in charge of giving them jobs didn't know what they were doing.
Right.
None of this was planned properly. So they would come on the boat and they'd say, have you ever waited a table before? They'd be like, no. All right, well, too bad. That's what your job is. Or they'd see the men that look kind of strong. You're shoveling coal.
Once again, Lisa's just giving us some Titanic facts. I was really interested. That whole coal thing lost me a bit, to be honest.
Really? Okay, let me try to move on to something else. Nobody has ever really sat down and thought about the process of building the Titanic. Have you ever thought about that?
No.
11,000 people worked on building the Titanic, and it took 10 cranes to keep it above ground to build it. Wow. So think of the building that they built it in. Back then. This was ahead of their time.
Wouldn't they have built it outside, maybe?
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, that's pretty much all I have. Is that interesting to you? Oh, one more. Okay, so you know how they didn't have enough lifeboats?
Yeah.
Do you want to know the real reason why?
Let's go. What is it?
It wasn't aesthetically pleasing enough to have more.
Oh, that makes sense.
And the day they took off, they only lowered 2 into the water to test it out and see if they could do that safely. No one knew what they were doing on that boat.
Right.
Also, there was only 1 pair of binoculars on the entire boat, and they were tucked away in a locked bin. Why? If they had binoculars, they would have seen the iceberg.
Okay, do you guys see why maybe I was like drifting off a little bit?
These are the things that excite me, and if you can't get on my level, then I need better friends.
I'm sorry.
All right, as much as I'm really scared of birds, I could also talk about bird facts for hours. You know what a condor is? Mm-hmm. It's a vulture. Well, just reading here that they're endangered, but they've returned to Northern California skies after nearly a century. That's really cool.
Tell me something good.
You've never watched the AHL hockey incident with the condor pregame?
Okay.
Google it.
Oh my gosh. The wingspan is 10 feet.
Yeah, no, you need to see what happened at the hockey game. They tried to bring one out to center ice. Yeah, you'll have to Google that. My story, I thought this was fitting with Easter weekend on the way. Some bunny rabbits just made some people a lot of money.
What happened?
They dug up a treasure. It had 9,000-year-old artifacts. That's what they figure right now. Anywhere between 4,000 and 9,000, but they think they date back 9,000 years.
Wow.
And it looks like this stuff is going to be worth a lot of money to a collector. So,
have you ever thought of burying something?
Well, I was going to do one of those, like...
the treasure chest?
Treasure chest and bury it, and then, with my daughter, and then... on her 18th birthday, we'd dig it up and check it out and see what we hid when I first owned the house.
I feel like 18 isn't long enough. What about on her 40th?
I'll be gone by then.
Tell me something good.
To head over to our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter if you would like to see the video that has people pretty fired up this morning. The city has announced that there's a new expectation with the cart rollout to stack your bins. Here is a bit of the audio from the video the city released.
What does a properly set out cart look like? The first cart is on the street or back alley and is stable, as the second will need to be hoisted on top of it to help with the pickup process. Then put your recycling in front. That's right, not side by side, but balance the one heavy cart atop the other and make sure the arrows are pointing out. We know that this may be a tough job for one or even 2 adults, so we recommend getting 3 adults to do it, or maybe 2 adults and 2 children, if they're strong.
We have Dean on the phone. What's up, dude?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good.
Good. I was watching your Facebook video this morning, and it's just not really adding up. I know that we're supposed to practice this, so trying to be a good citizen and try and buy in. I actually did go out, and they're a lot heavier than you would expect.
Oh, you actually tried to stack your garbage bins this morning?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to get to the 11th and it'd be, and it'd be sitting there and them not pick it up because they're not stacked. So.
And were you able to do it?
No, absolutely. I had to get my neighbor. Yeah, I had to get my neighbor to come over. And then luckily, he's a big guy.
That's why they're asking you to train. They want you to maybe start lifting weights before the 11th.
Well, in the middle of a pandemic, I don't even feel safe going to the gym. So it's kind of a double standard if you ask me, but
Yeah. So how many, like, if you and your neighbor were able to do it, though?
barely, but yes.
Okay, but there was no garbage in there.
No.
So if they were full, it would be really hard.
It definitely wouldn't be ideal, but then you think of the elderly. Like my grandma lives across the city, and there's no way that even her and 19 of her girlfriends would be able to do it. So that then it gets you, do you have to try and drive across the city every time there's garbage days and bring some friends that you can stack her garbage? Like, it just makes absolutely no sense. It's just kind of a headache, if you ask me.
So is this only happening in Edmonton? Because I know St. Albert and Sherwood Park have had these bins forever, and they seem to be doing okay.
Yeah, it's because there's more space there. Like, I think the problem with the city is that a lot of people's driveways don't have the full meter that you need or whatever to put the bins separately so the truck can access them. So that's why they're asking people stack them.
I'm just reading through some of the comments underneath the video on Play 107. Michelle says, there's no way I can hoist all of my garbage up on top without it spilling everywhere. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And then Lowell wrote in saying, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. How the F do they expect the elderly or individuals with issues to stack full garbage cans? Sorry, mobility issues. You shouldn't need a lifting party to take out your garbage. Way to go, city, for another fantastic idea. Puke emoji.
You saw the video as well?
Yeah, we have to stack them now.
Yeah.
I'm not strong enough for the amount of waste we go through.
To stack the bins. Do you ever get the kids to help? That's one of my problems is I'll often get my daughter to go out and take the garbage out. But how is she going to stack the bins?
I guess I'll have to build them a ramp now to get them stacked.
Play 107.
Are they actually going to make us start stacking?
Yeah, do you think that's doable?
I'm not that strong.
I've been told if you lay it down, the bottom one, and then you lay this other one on top of it, that you can kind of push them up together.
I still think that's silly.
Yeah. So you're not down for it? Do you think you'll reach out to the city or anything to voice your complaint?
Yes, I will, because you got to remember, there's a lot of seniors. They can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, city council seems to respond well when you voice your concerns to them.
Yeah, it's easier to flip a garbage bag out to the side of the road and then sit there and stack bins all morning.
Right.
Oh, God. I'm not the tallest one out there.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
That might actually help, though, because you have a lower angle
to hoist it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the other girl was right. You need a ramp.
You need a ramp?
Yeah,
Maybe the city will provide ramps for people.
Yeah, maybe we could start taxing people more, and then that will pay for the ramps.
Good idea. I can't see people complaining about that too much, if they got a ramp out of the deal.
Yeah.
People love things like ramps. They're fun to
parkour.
Exactly, and drive dinky cars down. And time for the nostalgia off, where we both come up with lists of things that'll bring you back to the better days, and you just let us know whose list resonated with you more. The wager this week, Lisa, I have just ordered a 600 pack of dinosaur temporary tattoos.
Okay.
The loser has to give themselves a temporary tattoo sleeve that will never wash off.
They take weeks to get off. And when they start to crust off a little bit,
they look terrible.
Just awful. So I'm really hoping for a win. I think I've got it in the bag this week. So your votes matter on the text line 780-784-7107.
And if you're watching on Facebook, we will count those votes as well and announce the winner a little later today.
All right. Go first, Ryder.
Risking it all while underducking on the swing sets.
Ooh. Walking in those plastic princess heels when you were 5. Not safe.
Not safe at all. Still wear those sometimes. Enjoying the best part of the pizza pop. The little bit of filling that ended up on your plate and kind of crusted.
Ooh. Getting Nexopia Plus just to see who is creeping your profile. You probably don't get that because you're from Saskatchewan. You didn't have Nexopia,
We didn't have the internet until last year there. Red utility balls and how they all ended up on the roof of your elementary school.
I can still smell them.
Yeah.
Pretending that you were sick so you could stay home and watch The Price is Right. $1, Bob.
Having inappropriate nicknames for your friends' parents.
Can you give us an example?
No, I can't.
Running home from elementary school and almost peeing your pants every time.
My last one is how intense the parallel parking portion of your driver's test was.
And my last one is going over to your friend's house where their parents were just smoking openly 24/7. All right, let's spitfire our lists real quick so people can get their votes in.
Risking it all while underducking on the swing set, the best part of the pizza pop, the bit of filling that ended up on the plate, red utility balls ending up on your elementary school roof, inappropriate nicknames for your friends' parents, and how intense the parallel parking portion of your driver's test was.
Walking in those plastic princess heels, Nexopia Plus. Price is Right on your sick day, running home from elementary and almost peeing your pants, and your friend's parents always thinking it's totally cool to just smoke in your face when you'd go over to their house.
Play 107.
We had some fun this morning. It's time to come clean, though. If you haven't seen the video, head over to Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, Play 107 Edmonton, and check it out. The city released a video. Wasn't the city, it was us, of how you have to stack your garbage bins, the really heavy new ones. My mom still doesn't know it was a prank. I just saw her comment on Facebook, so I've got her on the phone here. What's up, Mom?
How does a little old lady like me get the second cart on top of the first cart?
Well, I would get somebody to help, or maybe a ramp.
Well, I think probably if we made a ramp, I'd fall off the ramp.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of really muscular neighbors around.
Okay.
What if we got the city to create a pulley system?
Yeah.
Are you guys really serious about this? Is that what they're trying to do?
It's a good thing they don't do it out in Victoria, because all you blue hairs would have a real rough time with it, hey?
We really would have a rough time with it.
Well, I just wanted to give you a heads up, Heather, that March is over.
It's no longer March.
Oh, for heaven's sake. I am a total loser. Oh.
You're not alone.
Well done, you guys.
Thank you.
How real does that video look?
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah, at the end it says, for more information, visit play107.com. So we just feel bad for the City of Edmonton workers that have to deal with the phone lines, I think.
Oh, I bet. Oh, my goodness.
Well, happy April Fool's, Mom.
Yeah, love you both. Bye.
What's wrong?
Okay, I have a bit of a dark story, but I think it's important to share. Are we done with gender reveal parties? There was one in Mexico where they used a plane. Mm-hmm. I don't know what they were going to do, maybe a banner behind it or something exploding out the back of it. It crashed in the water.
Yeah, and a couple fatalities.
Yeah, it's awful. Luckily, nobody in the family was on board, but still, there were lives lost.
What genders were the people that died?
I don't know.
Well, and it's a gender reveal. I'm just kidding.
But anyway, if you're wondering, they're having a baby girl.
Oh, okay. So that gender was revealed.
I am done with the explosives.
Okay.
There was a grandma or a mom or something who had something fly at her with a homemade explosive, and she didn't make it.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I'm with you, but there's a lot of hate for gender reveals in general, and I think they're awesome. What's better than cupcakes, beer, friends, a surprise?
You know, you do make a valid point. Any excuse to see people at this point in life, even if it's socially distanced, sure.
But to me, it's never the intensity of the reveal that I'm excited for. Just the reveal is fun.
Okay.
It's a surprise.
You like the free beer at someone's house.
Just more beer, less explosives.
Ryder and Lisa.
Brought to you by Southtown Hyundai.
Play 107.